What's going on, y'all? I'm going to give you my opinion on the interview between Tucker Carlson and Vladimir Putin. Now, I thought it was a great interview. I just feel like, Tucker wasn't letting Vladimir explain some things in the beginning. So that's why I got my popcorn, because Vladimir said it real quick. He was like, look, is this a talk show or are we going to sit here and have a serious conversation? And that's when I went to get my popcorn. I was like, okay, this is going to get good. Because Tucker kept trying to, poke at him to get an answer. But that's not what Putin wanted. He really wanted to break things down, give us a good history lesson, and dumb things down for us. Because he already said it. He was like, you guys in the West, you don't know your history. And that's so true. We really don't know the history. We're not taught anything. And he broke it down so well. He went back into the 1600s, gave us a history on the Ukrainian territory. He brought Poland, Hungary, and what used to be Russia. He brought all of that into the story, and then he did like a timeline. He brought into the Soviet Union, and obviously, into today, talking about how once the Soviet Union collapsed, how they thought things would get better with the West and the relationship would improve, how the West promised that they wouldn't edge closer to the East towards Russia militarily. Obviously, that was a lie. And Putin must have gotten defensive or nervous for the last decade having NATO close to Russia's borders. I mean, it's not like Putin's just been dropping bombs on Ukraine for no reason. He's had a gang of countries right there by his country. That's something to be taken seriously, especially if you're the leader of a whole country. You have to defend your country. And let's be honest, Putin, he's reached out to the West several times. He's tried to develop a relationship, and he brought that up in the interview. He even mentioned that him and Bill Clinton had a conversation, and he asked Clinton, do you think I can get into NATO? Clinton said, yeah, it's possible. And then later that day, Clinton went to Putin. He was like, yeah, I talked about it with someone. It's not going to happen. So it's not like this man hasn't tried to develop a relationship with the United States and Western countries. I don't want to play the video out loud for y'all with audio because I don't want copyrights. But one thing I can say is that for him to do this interview, you can tell that he sincerely wants people in the Western countries to be educated on not only the war and what's currently going on, but he really wants us to understand the history. Another thing is how much he tells us that the West is trying to sell to the population that Russia is constantly in an expanding mode, and they're constantly trying to expand their borders and take over this country and that country and that country. He tells us how the United States shot itself in the foot by putting sanctions on multiple countries. The United States put sanctions on Russia that were so strong that Russia went from using United States trading about, I think it was about 80%. They were using about 80% trading in US dollars. Now they're down to probably about like 15%. So they're not trading in US dollars at all anymore. And he says how even if the administration changes, it might still be hard to improve the relationship because even though you have Democrats and Republicans, you have the people in the center who make the decisions for the country. So changing the president may not always change the relationship between the United States and Russia. And he pretty much implied in the interview how the BRICS nations are not coming together to destroy the United States or take over the United States. The BRICS nations are actually countries that the United States has pretty much tossed to the side and been neglecting for years, decades, and they're forming an alliance because they need to come together, have each other's backs, and actually treat each other fairly. And the fact that there's developing countries, you got Russia, China, India, tells you that they have a very diverse set of countries with a lot of goods, exports, obviously, energy. He tells us that the United States is more so isolating itself instead of it's improving its position worldwide. He says it's very hard to have a propaganda war with the same people who own all the media companies in the United States and Europe. And he's right about that. We've seen them tear down politicians before, celebrities, you name it. It's happened time and time again. The Western media can destroy any person they want to. Funny thing is, if they flip the switch, people could love the guy by tomorrow. Towards the end of the interview, Tucker asked about the Wall Street journalist who got caught, and he was getting classified information. Vladimir said that he believes he's a U.S. asset and that he didn't work for Russia in any way, shape, or form. Now, obviously, I can't give you guys every single thing that he said, but I just want to give you a gist of the interview and hope that, that helps you. And if you guys want to watch it, go on Twitter. It's on Twitter, and it's on Tucker Carlson's YouTube channel, so go check it out. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.